When 2024 started, I decided to do a little experiment in hopes to learn something different and be able to share it with all of you here in this channel. My experiment was to invest $100 every month in the stock market without hesitation. In the past, I will invest my money in the stock market with any leftover money whenever I could. By leftover money, I mean any money that was left after paying all my bills. That means my living expenses, my credit card bills, you name it. But then I really wanted to test out that concept that I hear everywhere, and that is to always pay yourself first. Only instead of putting that money into a savings account, I would choose to put that money directly into the stock market. This graph shows the performance of my stock portfolio over the years since I opened it. And I'm sure that you can see some major dips that happen along the years. I'm not going to deny it. The dips do hurt. But since I'm investing for the long term, I care more about the long-term overall performance of my stock portfolio. Now, most of my investments is in actual hard assets, meaning in real estate, assets that I can actually touch, feel, and see. But from time to time, I like to invest my money in the stock market in case I need to access quick liquidity. It's easier to cash out your stock portfolio than to sell a piece of real estate. That usually takes longer. But that's not what I really wanted to share. What I really wanted to share was what happened to my stock portfolio when I decided to invest $100 every month plus my dividends, which are the earnings paid to the shareholders by the companies. Here is January. The beginning balance was $24,902.74. And I invested $100 plus dividends. Then came February. The beginning balance was $26,896.87. And I invested another $100 plus dividends. Then March came. Beginning balance was $27,768. And I, of course, invested $100 again plus dividend. Then April came. The beginning balance was $26,244.76. The value of my portfolio did go down a bit this month, but I still didn't hesitate. I still invested $100 and also reinvested my dividends. Then May came. The beginning balance was $29,185.68. And this time, my portfolio went up by a lot. And of course, I invested an additional $100 and also chose to reinvest my dividends. Then June came. The beginning balance was $31,425.85. And I invested $98.41, a little less than $100, but I reinvested my dividends. And now July, at the time of this episode recording, the beginning balance of my portfolio was $33,068.66. And I still invested $100 and also reinvested my dividends. So in a span of only 7 months, my portfolio grew $6,171.79. I doubt that any bank will provide you that much money in savings. I don't care what yield they're offering. Now, depending on your financial situation, you might find these numbers to be either too big or too little. The purpose of this episode is not to compare how much more or how much less I have compared to you. The true purpose of this episode is to prove you that if you put your money to work, it will eventually grow, no matter how little the amount is. That's why I picked $100, because I believe that number is very doable. If you take $100 a month and you divide that by 4, that's only $25 a week. And if you can't do $100 a month, then do 50. And if you cannot do 50, then do $25 a month. What matters is that you're putting something aside and putting it to work for you. You see, most people think that they need thousands and thousands of dollars to be able to invest in the stock market, but that's not entirely the truth. Yes, you will grow faster if you invest more money, assuming you do your research right. But if you put little money, that simply means that you're going to grow a lot slower. And if your money is not enough to buy whatever share you're wanting to buy, just simply buy a fractional share of that one, which most brokerage accounts allow you to do nowadays. What's truly important is that you take action today. If you're enjoying this episode, consider hitting the like button and also subscribing to this channel. Now, here are the lessons learned from this experiment. 1, always reinvest your dividends if you are investing for the long term. 2, make it a habit to set money aside to invest. In my case, I pay myself first. I pay $100 to myself, which then I chose to put that money into the stock market. And then with whatever leftover money after that, I used it to pay all my bills. And once again, if you cannot set aside $100, try 50 or 25. What's important is that you're setting something aside for you, and then you make that money work for you. 3, when you're investing for the long term, the market will correct itself. So please don't panic and sell. 4, don't look at your brokerage account constantly because the ups and downs will drive you crazy. In my case, I only looked at my account twice. In January, when I logged in to set up the automatic deposit for $100, and in July, when I sat down to create this episode. And 5, very important, do your research. Only invest in companies that have a good reputation and that have been around in the market for years with a product or a service. My portfolio has stocks from Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, Costco, and Home Depot, just to name a few. Next, if you don't know where to start, then consider investing in an ETF. My favorite is this one that you see up on the screen. Best of luck out there, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.